This broadcast is part of the IC Robots radio network. Visit icrobots.com for this and many other nerd/nostalgia-related podcasts. You won't be sorry for long.
Countdown for blast off. X-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X-minus 1, fire.
I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can.
Welcome to the Toys R Us Report, recorded live on Jupiter's third largest moon, Callisto. He's cooler than Freddie Jackson drinking a milkshake. He's cooler than a polar bear's toenails. He's your host, IC Robots.
Greetings, Earth people. I am from Jupiter. It is me again, IC Robots. I am not a hero, but I do sacrifice a bit of my week each and every week to make your week a bit less weak. And this week it's gonna get so much less weak as a lead-in to Jurassic Park. We're gonna do something fun. We're gonna take a look at the top 5 dinosaurs of all the times. We're gonna take a look at some movie that I saw. All sorts of cool stuff. And plus, at the end, I got a personal story about a litter bug kid that I want you to judge my ethics. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but before we get to that, I got a new song from the Incident Podbee and Engineer Emily. Let me hit the 1 and 2s for a sec. Oh, I am a terrible DJ. All right, hit it.
No matter who calls, we answer first ring. Mind on the money, baby, that's the first thing. Got your baby mama by her purse strings. Losing her to me wouldn't be the worst thing. I'm not the one and I'm not the two, bro. I'm the cat who gone make it do what it do, bro. And now you know, so act right. This is the Toys R Us Report. We're not a blast from the past, we're a rumour from the future.
That much is definitely that. While we do remember we had a blast in the past, we are definitely on the future tip. This is me, IC Robots, and I am back. That was a super fun song. Thanks, guys. That, of course, was a takeoff on a famous Bun B rap. Bun B is far and away my favorite Southern solo rapper. I really like Outkast, and I do like some other dudes, but Bun B is a legend. Let's see what's going on up here. I've been trying to get the latest. I've been trying to get some details on these Johnny coins. I don't know. I don't have any myself, but dude keeps tweeting about these coins. Everyone keeps talking about these coins, but I still don't know if they've even hit the streak. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to buy a cryptocurrency. I gotta keep it real like that. I wouldn't even know how to get one if I was interested, and I'm not getting the kind of details that I would want from Johnny 5. I have Engineer Emily's in the back, and she's trying to get a hold of A.B Silver. We're gonna see if we can get A.B on the phone. Emily, any line on that?
Yeah, I got him on the line. Please don't ask me to do that again.
No?
He is so gross. The entire time I was on hold with his shit, they were playing some song that I'm pretty sure was him singing that song under the boardwalk to a harmonica solo.
Wait, hold on. It was Under the Boardwalk with like a heavy harmonica solo? That sounds like the Bruce Willis version off The Return of Bruno, his blues album, man. That is one of my favorite all-time records.
Okay, that was too much information, man. Let me connect Silver. Emily out.
Hello, IC Robots. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can you hear me? There's some static on the line. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hello. It is nice to talk with you.
Yeah, same. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while now.
I am a very busy robot. Between the pirate ship and the Johnny Coins, well, there aren't enough hours in the day for it all.
Yeah, I bet, dude. That pirate stuff must be must be a lot of work. I'm glad you were able to make some time for us and for the show, more importantly.
I am actually glad you called. There is something that I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh yeah? What's that?
I was hoping that maybe we could work out a deal to run an advertisement for Johnny Coins on your show.
Yeah, we definitely take ads, but it can't be anything salacious. We're like a family-friendly kind of thing, and you gotta be on the up and up to advertise with us.
That would be great. While your audience is not as hip as we would like, we realize that older humanoids often have more money than younger ones, so we feel it might be a nice idea to try and persuade some of them to buy some Johnny Coins.
I guess that makes sense. I'll take the ad, I guess. I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, I'm letting you talk about Johnny Coins right here anyway.
That is great.
What did you have in mind as far as placement on the show?
I was hoping to run the commercial during the show and maybe before.
I don't know about before that. We could talk later and try to figure it out, I guess.
Oh yes, one more thing. I would like engineer Emily to work with J5 on the commercial. She has made some nice bits for you in the past.
No. Sorry, Foo. There is no way that I am going to work with that Foo. He is literally the worst. Sorry, no deal.
Alright, AB, if that's what she feels, no deal. If she doesn't want to do it, there's no way we're gonna do it. She's a producer of the show, man.
J5 thought that you might say that. So how about this? What if I have Johnny record these voiceover on the pirate ship and we send it to you for editing? You don't even have to see him. But I don't know why you wouldn't want to. He is a huge star and a phenomenal voiceover artist.
No thanks. I don't even want to hear him. I am going to pass.
Okay, dude, there you have it. She's gonna pass. We're gonna pass on this.
J5 also thought that you might say that he knows you very well.
You shut up. That creep doesn't know me at all.
If you say so.
Come on, AB, lay off. Just negotiate with me.
Johnny has authorized me to pay you 50,000 Johnny Coins if you do it. How does that sound?
50,000? That's crazy, dude. That's a crazy amount of Johnny Coins. If they go to the $1,000 that you thought, that's like millions of dollars.
50k J Coins. That is a lot of crypto for someone of your sort.
Someone of my sort? What does that even mean? Look, I don't care how much it is, dude. It's like, if she doesn't want to do it, we're not going to do it. We're not that kind of operation, man. We don't need your coins.
I will do it, but I want 60,000 coins and I want them on a secure thumb drive before I do the work. I also get final edit and I want 10% of any projected income the advertisement is expected to add to the IPO. I want it all before I even hear his terrible VO.
Very well. We have a deal. Joke's on you though. J5 authorized me to go as high as 65 coins. You need to learn to negotiate better. Emily, thank you. I know this must be difficult for you. I will send the voiceovers to you by the end of the week.
Emily, you did not have to do that, man. We get paid by the station. You don't need his stupid Johnny Coins, dude. You don't gotta do stuff you don't want to do just cause you think it might help the show or whatever, dude. We're doing fine.
It's no big deal. I have worked with sleazy fools before. I was just trying to work a better deal for me. The commercial will be easy to do and 60 J Coins could turn out to be a nice windfall.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think the Johnny Coins are actually going to turn a profit or anything?
I don't know, man. These fools have a way of making money off their stupid projects. Even that hopeless movie turned a profit. It's maybe 20 minutes work for me. I'm not sweating it.
Well, that's a good attitude, dude. It's probably not a big deal for you. And it seems like sometimes we got endless time up here on the station. So let's move into the next segment of the show. A little segment we like to call At the Movies.
In a moment, at the movies, without Ebert, Siskel, or even that dude Roper. But you got Icy Robots, so that's something, right?
At this secret hospital for criminals, they call him Everest.
You know why they call him Everest? I think you do.
He keeps the peace.
You see that badge? That means I'm a healthcare professional.
But on June 8th,
You want the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the good news.
There isn't any.
there could be war.
Am I gonna make it out of here?
I hope so. We can do it together.
This is a real problem.
Hotel Artemis.
Visiting hours are never.
In theaters June 8th.
I have been looking forward to Hotel Artemis for a while, ever since I first started seeing the trailers. I liked it in that I thought it was at least somewhat an original idea. The basic premise is that there is a hospital that operates exclusively for criminals on a subscription basis. It's like an insurance service for the hardcore criminal types who might need to get a bullet pulled out of them. Think of Marvel's Night Nurse and how she operates. This seems as if it could be set inside of the John Wick world. How in John Wick they have that hotel, and in that hotel, the criminals can go and they can hang out and they can do whatever they're going to do, but there are rules set down. The Artemis is very much alike that. The movie is set in the not too distant future in good old Los Angeles. Now this is the Los Angeles that has been besieged by droughts. Now in California we do have a bit of a drought. We got a good amount of rain this past winter, but it's still not quite enough. But in this Hotel Artemis universe, there's hardly any water, and the water that is available is run by a private company that is limiting people's access, and this leads to water riots, and the water riots they're in full effect the night of the movie, and this is something that they're going to keep going back to in the movie Hotel Artemis. They're going to keep revisiting the idea of these water riots and the overall effect that they're having on the atmosphere, that they're having on the night that this all goes down. The movie stars acting Hall of Famer Jodie Foster, as well as former WWE superstar Dave Bautista, who you might know from Guardians of the Galaxy. He is Drax the Destroyer. I gotta admit, when good old Bautista was back in the WWE, I wasn't all that into him. He seemed like a big juiced up muscle head without a lot of personality. But since he's gone to Hollywood, he has shown he has great comedic timing. He is turning into a very, very good character actor. And in this, he holds his own with Jodie Foster. They are in so many scenes together. He's Jodie Foster's assistant. And who would ever think someday when you're back watching him with Reverend Devon, when he was, what was his name? He was Deacon Batista. He was something like that. He had some sort of a religious gimmick. Who would have ever thought that this guy, who would have thought that the Leviathan from Ohio Valley Wrestling would someday be on the screen with Jodie Foster holding his own? It sounded crazy, but it is now officially true. He's really good in it as Everest the Orderly. And in this, he's actually acting. He has kind of like a cholo character, sort of like an LA lowrider cholo kind of guy. He has that kind of accent and that attitude, and he pulls it off. He pulls it off really well. Dave Bautista has become quite a delight. Who else is in this movie? The guy who plays Paperboy on Atlanta is in it. Courtney B. Vance is in it, and one of my favorite actresses going right now, Sophia Boutella, who you might know. She was in The Mummy. She played The Mummy. She got an Icy Robots Radio Summer Movie Award nomination for her part as, what was her name? Her name was Jayla in the last Star Trek movie, Star Trek Into the Darkness. Is that what it's called? It's the one where they land on a planet and there's like an alien there. She played the alien. She's somebody that I would like to see more of. She has such like a interesting look. She's very, very alien looking. I can't think of another way to put it. She has these drastic bangs, and she has like a butt chin. And I recall hearing somewhere she has some kind of like a Cirque du Soleil kind of gymnastics background, and this enables her to like do karate and kung fu and just be awesome in that role. She's the girl with the blades for feet in The Kingsman, and I always want to see what she's up to. She's somebody that I'm really enamored with at the moment, and she plays a gal who's at the top of the assassin game in this, and she has one super terrific fighting scene. She has a hallway fighting scene that's reminiscent of the one. It's not nowhere near as brutal as the one in Atomic Blonde, but it is reminiscent of that, and she more than holds her own. She's throwing high kicks, low kicks, pump kicks, punches to the face. It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed watching it. I had a good time. I would consider getting the Blu-ray of this movie. I've recently gotten into Blu-rays. I don't know why all of a sudden, but I am. I'm picking them up at Joe Video. I get the previously viewed Blu-rays, and I'm digging it. There's tons of them at the flea market too. Just this past week, I picked up the first Star Trek and X-Men 2, which is far and away the best of all the X-Men movies. I got Lady Bird. I got a bunch of them, but I would consider picking up Hotel Artemis, so I could get it for like $5-10. You know how at like Walmart they had that bin of all the super cheap Blu-rays. If they had Hotel Artemis in there a couple of years from now, I would consider getting it just for this one fight scene alone. It definitely bears revisiting. I did like this movie. I liked it. It was not as good as I thought it would be, and that was a letdown, but in a lot of ways it was better than I thought it would be. I expected lots and lots and lots of action, but there wasn't as much high-end action as I wanted. But Courtney B. Vance, as he's another guy who's he's a high-tech criminal. He's a high-level assassin type. He carries the movie, I would say, a bit more than Jodie Foster does. Jodie Foster he's definitely the star, but Courtney B. Vance he's the heavy utility man. He advances the story. And this guy, he's a better actor than I give him credit for. He is in This Is Us. Is that what it is? I don't watch This Is Us. The wife loves it. He's in that, and I don't know. I never thought he was a bad actor, but I definitely am more fond of him now than I was before. He's great. The Charlie Day, is that his name, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, is in it. He's pretty good. There is Jeff Goldblum is in it. He's like a criminal mastermind known as the Wolf. He's in it, and I don't know. This movie was pretty good. Not great. If you're looking for some kind of like an afternoon time killer, you want to get out of the heat a bit, this is like perfect for that kind of thing. So, on the good old-fashioned Source Magazine mic meter, with 1 being a dud and 5 being an all-time classic, I am going to go ahead and give Hotel Artemis 3 mics.
3 mics.
First, light the candle, then choose an item that belonged to Grandma. Then read this out loud. It's to make things start. She isn't gone.
I think my mother put a curse on us.
Hereditary in theaters this Friday.
And then the second movie we saw this week is a movie known as Hereditary. This is a horror film of the highest order. It left me feeling very, very unsettled. I carried this feeling with me like well into the evening. I would be hard pressed to say that I liked this movie, but I would also have to say that it's an excellent movie. It's very unsettling, very dark, very, very disturbing. It stars Toni Collette and Gabriel Byrne, and it's very hard to explain what the movie is about. It starts off with Toni Collette's mother passing away, and she has mental illness issues, and these issues are hereditary, and you start to see them get passed down to Toni Collette, and then down to their daughter, and it starts off as this this very disturbing, very sad tale of a family falling apart. Going into this movie, I did not know anything. I knew the movie was reviewing very well, but I did not know anything about the plot. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking it's this movie about this family that is falling apart because of Toni Collette's mental illness. And then tragedy strikes, and then another tragedy strikes, and I'm watching it going, this is an all new kind of wild horror story that I have never seen before, and I'm feeling very upset, very unsettled by this whole thing. I'm like, part of me wants to leave, but part of me is like, I want to see how this is going to turn out. And then all of a sudden, it becomes this other kind of supernatural tale, and that is super scary too. I do like horror movies, but I don't go for the stuff with like ghosts and demons and stuff. And this delves off into that category. But after watching this family like fall to pieces, and then you start to see this other direction, you have no choice but to like follow along and see what happens. And I don't want to give away any details about this. I don't want to blow anything for you. It's very dark. It's very disturbing. And if you are in to that kind of a thing, this is the movie for you. I know a lot of people don't go for horror films. I don't like all of them. Like I said, I don't like ghosts. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. I like zombies. I like zombies. But once you start going into like spiritual realms, I lose interest because I know that stuff isn't real. I like to see movies where they're like stalked by maniacs, or where like crazy people are trying to get a hold of them. I guess you call that survival horror. I enjoy that kind of stuff way more than I enjoy supernatural horror. This movie, though, while being supernatural horror, was also horrible in that way that a good horror movie is. The closest comparison I could make would be maybe Nocturnal Animals, which I saw last year, and in that, these horrible things happen to Jay Gyllenhaal's family, and they leave you feeling horrible. This movie is just like that. I like a movie that makes me feel good, but every once in a while, it's good to see a movie that makes you feel bad, and this is definitely that. Toni Collette is amazing in this. She's such a good actor. You might know her from Muriel's Wedding. She is at the top of her game in this, and so is Gabriel Byrne. This movie, while I cannot recommend it to just about anybody because it is so horrible. If you like to see horrible things happen, then by all means, go see this, because this is that. The one thing that I don't like when I go see a horror film is that there's like a certain kind of chucklehead that is drawn to horror movies. And do not take this to say that I am saying all dudes who like horror are chuckleheads, because nothing could be further than the truth. Like, some of the coolest guys I know, dudes like Vic Sage and these guys, they're into horror films. So there's nothing inherently bad about a horror fan, but there is a certain kind of like, I don't even know how you would describe them. I think you know what I'm talking about. Somebody who's going to see like the gore. They want to see the gore exclusively. And every time you go see a horror movie, there are always these kind of guys in there. And these kind of guys are the kind of guys who also like play with their phones during the movie, talk during the movie, and just whatever. And whenever I go see a horror movie, there's always a bunch of people like that. In this one, there were like a couple different phone users. I gotta wonder, why is somebody paying to see a movie and then playing on their phone? Why would you do that? Why do you pay to go and then sit there on Facebook? It's weird to me. It's weird. I don't get it. But then there was also there was a mom who brought a baby, like a little baby, like a baby that needs to be held in your hands. She brought a baby and like two kids. One I'm guesstimating to be maybe 7 years old, and the other one could not have been older than 10. She brought them to this movie, and during the movie, I could hear one of the girls sobbing. I'm not kidding. I could hear one of the girls sobbing at some of the horrible things that were happening. I could hear the baby making these weird baby noises. The baby didn't know what was going on. The baby was annoying because you shouldn't bring a baby to a rated R movie, but bringing these kids, it's like borderline child abuse. I could hear this girl sobbing at the things that were happening. It was very off-putting, and every time I go see a horror movie, something like this happens. I am going to say, do not bring your kids to see Hereditary. If you do, I don't want to judge, but I'm going to say you might be a bad parent. You might need to look at yourself and say, why am I bringing a 7-year-old to a movie that features maybe 5 different decapitations? Why am I bringing a kid to this movie about a family that is falling to pieces? You might want to look at yourself. I don't know. That's just me. I would not do it. I'm not that type. The movie's presently sitting at 93 tomatoes. Good old Rotten Tomatoes got it going through the roof. And I gotta say, I thought it was a good movie. I also gotta say, I never want to see even a second of it again. So, with all that said, on the good old-fashioned Source Magazine mic meter, with 1 being a dud and 5 being an all-time classic, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Hereditary 3.5 mics.
3.5 mics.
This is Don Fry, and you're listening to Toys R Us Report. Touch that down, I'll kill you.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King will not be seen tonight, but will return next week at this time.
Alright cats, simmer down because it's time for a very special list. I see robots top 5 dinosaurs of all the times. Enjoy.
When I was a youngster, when I was a young sprat, I was into dinosaurs as much as the next guy, which is to say quite a bit. A boy kid, especially his attraction to dinosaurs it's like at times very immense. Some kids get deeply into it. Other kids, they only get a little bit into it. But even that kid that's on the little bit tip, that amount of dinosaur learning, dinosaur thinking about, dinosaur whatever, would be like almost a full-time job for an adult. It's pretty deep. I was somewhere in the middle. I wasn't the dinosaur kid, but I did definitely read more than 5 books about dinos when I was in elementary school. And with Jurassic Park coming around again, I thought, why not take a look at some of those dinosaurs I used to spend so much time thinking about? I'm doing my best not to do any research on this episode at all, and I know that's nothing to brag about, but I want it all to come right out of the dome piece. I want this to be like what I remember thinking about these dinosaurs. I'm going to do my best to get into the mindset of a Binkley Elementary School young IC robots and what he was thinking when he was flipping through these dino books. So, with all of that said, let's move into it. Let's find out what is the number 5 dinosaur of all the times.
Number 5.
Extracting species profile. Tyrannosaurus rex, a genus of Calaeosaurian theropod dinosaur. It was the last known member of the Tyrannosaurids, and among the last non-avian dinosaurs to exist before the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction.
Number 5 on the list it's T-Rex, the good old Tyrannosaurus Rex with its little baby arms and its giant head and massive teeth. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is kind of like the king of the dinosaurs. It's the biggest one. It's the meanest one. It's the one that could murk all the other dinosaurs with one bite from those horrible fangs. But I have never been too deeply into the T-Rex. Now, of course, I absolutely respect the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I respect its place in nature. I respect its place in Jurassic Park, but those little baby arms are a major turnoff to me, and I never got into him as much as some other kids. He's fine, he's cool, he definitely has his place, but he doesn't have a deep place in my heart. Some kids, rightfully so, love this one over all others. But to me, that's kind of front running, you know? That's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick the one that is absolutely the best. That's like rooting for Hulk Hogan. That's like being a Yankees fan. That's like rooting for the Patriots, even though you don't live in New England. It's just not what I am all about. And I got to admit, a lot of times I like the I like the underdogs. I like the second banana. I like the guy who is the sidekick to the guy, not so much the guy. But Tyrannosaurus Rex, you know, it's cool. If I had to pick a dinosaur I'd least want to run into, and I will admit I don't really want to run into any of them, but if I had to pick one that I least wanted to run into, it would be the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It could just reach down and just one chomp, just chomp me entirely up. I wouldn't even be the meal. I am like the thing you would eat when you start to feel a little bit peaked. I'm not even the Snickers. I might be the handful of peanuts that you sometimes get when you're just, you know, you're not really hungry. You're not hungry enough for even like a Snicker bar or like a banana, but you do want a little pick me up. I would be that thing. I would be the thing that increased his hit points back up 5%. Not all the way. So the T-Rex is definitely a lethal beast, but not one of those that's deeply in the heart of your boy Icy Robots. Those arms are weird, and you gotta admit, his head's not that cool looking. He doesn't have a horn, he doesn't have a spike, he doesn't have a fin down the middle, and I will admit, he does not need any of those things. He's the ultimate killing machine that's probably ever walked the earth, but he doesn't do it for me as much as our number 4 dino on the list. Let's hop into it and see what that is.
Number 4.
Extracting species profile. Brachiosaurus is a genus of large sauropod dinosaur. It weighed up to an estimated 56 metric tons.
The Brachiosaurus is your number 4 dinosaur of all the times, and when I put the Brachiosaurus on here, I am also including the Brontosaurus. This is what it kind of turns out we thought the Brontosaurus was back in the day. That's something I'll talk about in a little bit. But the Brachiosaurus is the dinosaur that you would think would be the main feast for the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's the one, if you pictured a gigantic battle of 2 dinosaur beasts, if you wanted the ultimate fight, this would be what you would have. Now, the Brachiosaurus was a herbivore. It wasn't the kind of dinosaur that would go out there looking for trouble. It wouldn't be like, I'm looking to eat up on some pterodactyls. This is the guy minding its own business, but it is also so massive that if outraged, it could decimate everything. When I was younger, the dinosaur that we had in this place was the Brontosaurus, the Thunder Lizard. This was our Andre the Giant. This was our King Kong Bundy. This was the biggest of the big. This was the Gentle Giant. When I would play with my plastic dinosaurs, and I was the kind of kid who had the plastic dinosaurs, I would pick these up. I would pick these up at Long's Drugs, which is now CVS over on 4th Street. Their toy section had bins with all sorts of these generic rubber dinosaurs, and I could usually convince my folks to go up on a rubber dinosaur. They were like $2. Who's gonna complain about that? It's $2 to keep your kid quiet at the drugstore. It's well worth it. I plan on talking about the Long's toy section at some point. I have a pretty vivid memory of that place. I'd go there all the time with my grandpa. My grandpa always needed something over there, and he was living with us at the time my grandparents were, and I'd spend a lot of time hanging out with him, and we would always head over to Long's. It was just over the hill from where we lived. We would go around this windy mountain road to to Longs, and I could always talk him into getting me a dinosaur. And the Brontosaurus this one wasn't really like to scale to the other dinosaurs. I felt like the Brontosaurus was about the same height as the Tyrannosaurus Rex in toy form, and I knew that wasn't right, so I would impart special powers on the Brontosaurus, while I knew that it was supposed to be much, much bigger, so I made it much more powerful, and when enraged, he could stomp all the other dinosaurs to dust. I don't really think that's how it was in real life. That's how it was in my fantasy dinosaur realm. I think in real life, the Brontosaurus was probably big and probably kind of slow, while really strong if it was attacked by a pack of, velociraptors, or maybe a Tyrannosaurus Rex on its own in a bad mood. They probably would get torn to shreds. I would imagine they could thrash around with that neck and kind of dislodge the velociraptor from its sides. But in the end, they probably would fall. But in my heart, he would always win. He would always end up like stomping on the other ones. That's how I kind of would play dinosaurs. They would just bump into each other because there weren't any points of articulation. They would just like bump into each other. And then eventually I started working my action figures into the dinosaurs. These ones that were like the Predator ones with the big open fangs were hollow because I guess they wanted to, save on manufacturing. So I would have them eat like Star Wars guys or like Playmobil guys. I'd jam them into the mouth. A couple times I ended up losing guys in the bottom of a T-Rex or whatever. But that's the price you pay. Let's move forward in the list and find out it's going to be the number 3 dinosaur of all the times.
Number 3.
Extracting species profile. Stegosaurus is a genus of thyreophorian dinosaur. They were large, heavily built, herbivorous quadrupeds with a distinctive combination of broad, upright armor plates and a tail tipped with spikes.
The number 3 dinosaur of all the times it's the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus is the one that's long. It's on 4 legs. It has a spiky tail. It has a tail with like two large spikes on it, a long tail, and then up its back, it has like these rigid I don't know if you'd call them spiky, that has these defensive bone protrusions, and then it goes down to a very, very small head. The Stegosaurus is known to be the dumbest. One of the dumbest of all the dinosaurs. You can tell this by the small size of its head. Its head looks like, compared to the rest of its body, the head is it seems relative to a cantaloupe. Maybe cantaloupe size, maybe watermelon size. The Stegosaurus is, I believe, like 25 feet long, so the head is probably bigger than a cantaloupe. So I don't know, maybe even bigger than a watermelon. It might be, I can't say. Let's say 5 feet. Why am I dwelling so long on the size of the head of the Stegosaurus? It can't be 5 feet if it's only 26 feet. At any rate, the Stegosaurus is the biggest of the Stegosaur type of dinosaur. It roamed North America. It was a herbivore. It had I wouldn't call it a long neck. It was not a giraffe-like neck, but it was a bit of a long, bendy neck that it would use to get down and eat things on the ground. When you think about that, you see how it would be bent forward and it would be eating, and these bony protrusions on the back would be the perfect thing to defend itself from something coming down to chomp on it. It wouldn't be like a cactus, but the idea is very cactus-like. While the fruit is delicious, it's covered with spines, and you have to find some way past the spines. But then, do not discount that spiky tail. I love an animal that has an actual weapon, and this dude has a spiky ball thing. That, what do you call that? It's not a mace, it's a flail. It has essentially an organic flail. It can impale you with these 2 long spikes, and you gotta think, this is the animal world. This is not the people world. In the people world, if you get spiked, unless it hits a vital spot, unless it goes through your heart, they can do a lot to help you at the doctor. They can sew up your insides. They can give you antibiotics to help fight off the infection. But in the animal world, where you walk around in the woods and you sometimes roll around in the dirt, if you get stuck with something, that could very well be it for you. That could be a wrap. Not only not only would the wound have the potential to kill you on the spot, the infection is definitely going to get the hold. Dinosaurs don't have antibiotics. This spiky tail it's a massive weapon. That's what I like about the Stegosaurus. I love an animal that evolves a way to have a weapon of its own. So, with all that said, that is why the Stegosaurus is number 3. Let's jump ahead and find out what is number 2.
Number 2.
Extracting species profile. Triceratops, a horned and armored genus of herbivorous ceratopsid from the late Cretaceous period of North America.
The number 2 dinosaur of all the times is the Triceratops. The Triceratops it's the one that was down on 4 legs, and it had some big horns in the front. It had like a ridge of bone and stuff around its head that like circled its head, kind of like a ring that you put on a dog when it had surgery and you want to keep it from biting itself. It has it's not conical, it's flat, but it's similar to that, and it has some giant horns up on his head. I have to say, the race between the Stegosaurus and the Triceratops was super close because I like them both a lot, but I believe that the Triceratops is the dinosaur most likely to kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex of the two, between the Stegosaurus and the Triceratops. I can see the T-Rex coming from above down onto the Triceratops, who at the last second raises his head up and he impales him on the 2 head ones, and then also on the nose horn, much like Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin in their movie The Edge, the one where they're trapped out in the Alaskan wilderness because they're both in love with Elle Macpherson, and a bear comes after them, and as the bear lunges, they raise a spear and it goes right into it. I could see a Triceratops pulling off this maneuver, and it being successful. I imagine this happened more than once. If the T-Rex couldn't come from behind, they had to face the front. I don't even know if it would go for it. Maybe it's not too smart. I don't know. I don't think that any of the dinosaurs were super smart. In Jurassic Park, they show you how the velociraptors have super intelligence, but I don't know about all that. I think the velociraptors are weird, and I want to say this before I continue on with the Triceratops for a little bit. I don't even remember hearing about this dinosaur when I was young dinosaur book boy. I never ever saw them. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. They didn't register. But once they were introduced into Jurassic Park, they became like the dinosaur jam. They became like the deadliest. They weren't as big and as vicious as a T-Rex. They were more small and ferocious, and they would come upon a larger dinosaur in packs, and that was far more deadly than the lone T-Rex. They were so bad that they managed to turn the T-Rex babyface. The T-Rex was always the biggest dinosaur heel, and when the Velociraptors came along, they turned him face. That's how bad they were. But they weren't a dinosaur from a youth. They don't resonate the way that other dinosaurs like the Triceratops do. The Triceratops was in the holy trinity of dinosaurs as far as I was concerned. There were like the Justice League of dinosaurs with the Stegosaurus, the Triceratops, and the Brontosaurus. They were like the three main good guys. I dig a dinosaur that has a weapon, and those 3 horns on the front are like a triple blade of death. The Tyrannosaurus rates super high on my list, man. It's the number 2. There is only one dinosaur out there that I think is cooler than the Triceratops. Let's jump into it. Let's find out what is number
1. And finally, number 1.
Extracting species profile. Ankylosaurus is a genus of armored dinosaur and is a member of the family Ankylosauridae from the late Cretaceous period.
My number 1 most favorite dinosaur of all of time in space is the Ankylosaurus. I used to call it the Ankylosaurus when I was a kid. That is still what I call it in my head, the Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus it's small and it's down low on the ground, kind of like a turtle, but not really. Like a turtle that's more like football shaped rather than like circular shape. And all along its outside, it has spiky protrusions, and then the thing that is my favorite thing in all of dinosaurdom, it has a giant tail with a big bony ball at the end. It has a mace. It's like a dwarf with a mace. I love this dinosaur so much. It was like love at first sight. The first time I saw this guy, I'm like, what an amazing underdog. It's small, it's slow, but it has a lethal weapon. It doesn't have like a spiky weapon like some of the other guys. It has a knockout punch. I love nothing more than a one-punch knockout artist. This is my dude for sure. I would have him battling all the other dinosaurs, and he would always be like getting beat down, but somehow being defensive and somehow surviving, when all of a sudden he'd swing that tail around, connect right on the jaw, instant knockout. And he wasn't a killer in my dinosaur play world. He would knock you out, admonish you, tell you, leave me alone in the future or you'll get one of those, and then he would bow down. He wouldn't like mash its head into goulash. He would knock him out, bounce, hit the road. I have a few toy Ankylosauruses, even to this day. I have an 80s rubber one. I have a few plastic ones. You find a lot of plastic dinosaurs at the dig, and you find a lot of plastic dinosaurs at the flea market. And if it happens to be an Ankylosaurus, it's coming home. It's coming home with me. I like this guy. I like the design. I like so many things about this underdog of the dinosaur world. So there you have it, dude. That's my top 5 list of dinosaurs. The best dinosaurs of all the time. But they are not the only dinosaurs out there. Let's take a few minutes and send some, not even a few minutes. Let's take a few seconds and send some shout outs to dinosaurs that didn't make the list. Pterodactyls, you're in the house. You 2.0's favorite dinosaur, but you didn't make the list. You're cool.
They be on the deals, Nick.
You fly, but you didn't make the list. Velociraptors, you're in the house. You got that big push from Jurassic Park, but I'm not. I was the kid when Jurassic Park came out. I was an adult, so you're not in my heart, but you're still in the house. The Pachycephalosaurus. I don't even know if that's how I say your name because I've never heard anybody say it out loud, but you got this giant dome pan. It looks like you got a frying pan on your head that you would use to deliver a knockout headbutt. I gotta give it up to you. You are definitely in the house. The Allosaurus, you're in the house. You're like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but you're smaller, you're faster, and you're a bit meaner. You're in the house. You didn't make the list, but you're definitely in the house. Man, there are so many cool dinosaurs out there that I gotta say, every dinosaur that ever walked the face of the earth, you were all in the house.
Please drop by supportthereport.com and consider becoming a show patron for as low as a measly $1 a month. It's the right thing to do. You've made it this far. It's time. The final segment. The IC Robots Radio Pop Culture / Toy News / Other Boring Stuff Informational Moment.
All right, it is me, and we are back. We're back for what is the final segment of the show. This is where I talk about things I got, things I read, things like that. It can either go really long or it can sometimes be really short. This time I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I'm going to tell a story, and I want you to tell me what you think, and then I'll talk about a couple things I got, and we'll take it from there. We'll wing it. We'll Deborah wing it, dude. We'll see what's happening. So So dig this. I walk my dog. I walk my dog every day. You guys know this. So I'm out there, I'm out there. I'm on the streets. I'm on the streets of Rankin Valley. I see what's going on that level. And what I see is, I see litter from time to time. And when I do, if I feel like I can do so without getting scummed up, I'll pick it up. I pick up, plastic bottles or cans and stuff. It's up to us to fight the war on litter. And I'm, a street soldier. I'm down there. I'm out there amongst the peeps, and I see the stuff, and I do what I can. Litter bothers me. Litter really bothers me. I realize that sometimes, things get away from you. Things blow out of the back of your truck, or they just get away. And I realize that's an unescapable fact of life, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But I hate it when people leave things on the ground and just walk away from them as if somebody else is there to clean up after them. And I guess I'm doing that, so maybe I'm compounding it. But I hate it. I hate the laziness that just leaves somebody to toss their bottle on the ground, to leave their fast food bag on the street. I hate it. It drives me nuts. I like to have a nice, clean neighborhood. I want it to be nice when I'm walking around. I got nice scenery. It's nice weather. It's great. I want to keep it clean as well. So I'm out walking the dog, right? I'm going past the school, and I'm just I'm heading out past where Oak Park used to be before the fire. And there is this mom and this kid up ahead of me. There's a group of people. Something must have been going on at the school. So there's little small groups of people walking up ahead, and I see this kid. He has a Gatorade bottle. I'm not paying any attention to it. But when you're out with the dog, it does make sense to pay attention to your surroundings more so than if you're just walking around, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you're responsible for their well-being. So I'm looking around, and I see the kid. He's drinking this red Gatorade, and he's walking along, and then he takes the last swig, and he just tosses the bottle over his shoulder. And I'm just what a pig. What an absolute creep. So I'm walking along, and then when I get to where the bottle is, I pick it up. It's trash day, so all I got to do is toss it into somebody's recycling thing, because they're all out. It's not a big deal, but I pick it up, and I'm walking along, and they're super slow. The kid keeps messing around with his feet and just being slow. I would guesstimate he was somewhere in the 8 to 10 year old range. Not a teen or anything like that. Still a small youth, and he is having a hard time paying attention on his forward progress. So I get up there. I catch up to them, which I don't like to do. Usually I'll lay back in the cut when I have the dog. You never know what's going to happen. It's best to leave a few body lengths between you and other people. So I do catch up, because they're just going so darn slow. I'd have to be at a complete halt for a while. And when I catch up to the kid, I'm thinking I'm going to show him a lesson. I'm going to try to, as a polite citizen, I'm going to teach him a lesson. And I go, hey there, sport. I actually said sport. I go, hey, sport, I saw that you dropped this back there. I said, you want to make sure not to litter. It's up to us to keep Santa Rosa clean. Everybody has to do their part. And I handed it to him, and he looked all weirded out. And I get it. No one wants some strange weirdo talking to him. But I'm a nice guy. I look like a nice guy. I got a nice dog. I'm walking along, and I felt that I should try to impart this wisdom on this kid. I tried to do it in a way, so it's kind of on the low key, and his parents won't hear it. I don't want to make a scene about it, but I want him to know, people care about their neighborhoods and stuff. So I say that to him, and then they're walking along, and he just took the bottle, and he took it back in his hand. He was going to do whatever he's going to do with it, but he's walking along, and then I see him he starts talking to his mom, which is, again, completely understandable. You should always tell what happens when a stranger talks to you. You can't keep these things to yourself. So I see him talking to his mom, and she turns to me and she goes, "This wasn't his bottle. He found it on the ground. He was just playing with it." And I say, "Okay, fair enough. I apologize. I'll throw it in one of the bins." And I stick my hand out, and I am being polite as can be. When I have, I don't want to say confrontations like this. I try to just be super polite, super nice, and I feel as if no matter what happens, as long as I, remain myself and I remain polite and I remain a good person, I will always come on top. It's ethics. You got to maintain your ethics. So I'm like, it's okay. I'll take it from you. Don't worry. And I stick my hand out and she goes, oh, we'll take care of it. But you have to know, he found it on the ground. He found it. It's not his. I maintain myself that if you pick something up, it's now your responsibility, I think. I think that I pick up these bottles and I throw them in the garbage. It would not be cool of me to pick up litter off the ground and then just deposit it somewhere else on the ground. It's weird. It's lazy. If you got it, do the right thing. Just see it through. Why'd you pick it up in the first place? It's now yours, and I think that you, in fact, become the litter bug. And then I started thinking to myself, I saw the kid drink from this. I saw him drink, and I'm behind them, and I don't know if they think that I'm following them or whatever, but she turns around and she says, he found it on the ground. It wasn't even his. And I go, ma'am, I saw him take a drink from the bottle. I finally had to say something. I go, ma'am, I saw him take a drink. And when I said that, she got this look like her eyes got all big, like, uh-oh, what just happened? Not that I got them, not that I got the zing, I got the win. I think that, in fact, he did pick the bottle up from the ground. I think she was telling the truth, but I think he picked the bottle up from the ground and drank it. I think he drank the last swig, and she realized that, and she's like, oh no, what happened? And at this point, I turned the corner. It was my turn to, go off the other way, so I just went off the other way, and I'm like, what a weird scene. Now, I maintain that if you pick up the litter, it is now your responsibility as a citizen to put it where it goes. If you throw it on the ground, you are in fact now littering. You are re-littering. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on the tweets. Hit me up on Twitter at ICRobots, ISEE Robots, as if I am looking in the distance, I see robots. Let me know on Facebook. Facebook.com/ICRobots. Leave a comment in the episode post. Get a hold of me. I am curious. What do you guys think? I hope there's no litter bugs out there. If you guys are litter bugs, this is your chance. Change your ways. There are better ways to go through life. There used to be this guy who lived in my neighborhood. I would see him all the time when I was out walking the dog. He was a small fella, very, very elfish, and he had long white hair that he would wear in a ponytail. Very, very elven. I think he couldn't have been taller than 4'11", but he was very slender, very small, very, very much like Lord of the Rings style elf. Very much like Orlando Bloom or whoever it was that was in that flick. I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings. It's not my thing. I'm not the biggest fantasy guy in the world. So this guy, he used to walk around the hood, and he had a stick with a nail in it, and he would use it to pick up litter as he went along, and he had a little bag. And I've always admired what this guy is doing, and in my way, when I pick up a can or whatever, I feel as if I'm carrying on his legacy. I haven't seen this guy in years. He must have passed away. He could have moved away, I guess. He doesn't necessarily have to be gone, but let me know what you think at ICRobots, ISEEROBOTS. What else is going on? Let's talk about a couple things I picked up, and then we'll scoot up out of here. The big 40 and 8 flea market was the other day here in town. That's at the Vets building. It's a lot of fun. We go to every single one. I think I've missed a couple over the years, but we do our best to go to every single one. And I got a couple action figures. I got a few, two. I got 2 Star Trek The Next Generation action figures by good old Playmates. Have you seen that episode of the Toys That Made Us on Netflix with the big talk about Star Trek toys? That was awesome. Sorry, I got a weird sidetrack there, but I got 2 of them. The first one I got is the Borg, and he's just like a standard army builder Borg type. I already have one of these. I really like these figures. If I see him at the flea, I always pick them up. If we're on the card and they only cost a couple dollars, I'll always pick them up. It's fun to open them up and play with them. It gets like a nice little pick me up, to have an action figure to open up if you're feeling a bit down, and we all sometimes do. So I got a Borg. I already have a Borg, but now I have 2. I have 1 of 2 and 2 of 2 of the Unimatrix Zero. And then this one, This one I really like. I got Gowron the Klingon. He is the leader of the Klingon High Council. He's that guy who was, he's in the Klingon battle armor in the Next Generation. He has the big googly eyes, and the action figure also has the googly eyes. It's a very, very nice likeness. He also comes with, some kind of a Klingon hound. What is it called? Well, it does not say what the hound is called, but it does come with a ceremonial pain stick, a war club, and also his blaster. And this dog, the accessories for these are always one color. They're never detailed or painted in any way, and the color they pick for them is always so goofy. These are golden. I read somewhere, I think it was in Toy Fair magazine, they said that the reason they use these goofy colors is they were trying to get the figures out as fast as they possibly could after the episode aired, and in doing so, they got a lot of speed, but they had to give up a lot of details to the accessories. It says here on the back that this beast is called a Targ. It's a Klingon pet known as the most vicious and loyal friend a Klingon could have. Who else comes in this line? There's Captain Jean-Luc, Deanna Troi, Data, Worf, Riker with a ripped up shirt. I have all of those, and then Geordi LaForge, I have him, I have the Borg. I did not have the Ferengi or the Romulan, but they now have Gowron, the Klingon. So I gotta keep my eye out for those too. These are fun. They're fun to open. Each one comes with a base, which I think is really neat. Then the base is it's the shape of a Starfleet symbol. If you're in Starfleet, the Borg one is the Borg symbol, the Klingon one is a Klingon symbol. They make neat little decorations for Trekkie. You can actually turn those into Christmas ornaments, and they would look all right. The Borg is neat. You can take his hand off, and he has two separate hands. One of them is a laser ray, and the other is a shield generator. Both of those are fun. I like the Borg. I've watched a lot of Star Trek, and I can say I do not know the origin of the Borg. I do not. I should. I would imagine it was talked about in one of the movies, the one with the Borg Queen, but I don't know, man. I'm not the big movie fan. I like the shows. I watch the shows over and over and over again. I tend to see the movies maybe once, twice, and then I don't know. They don't do it as much for me as just the episodes. I like the format. What else did I get over there? Oh yeah, I got a comic. I got 2 copies of the same comic. It is Cheryl Blossom #1. This is the first series, Cheryl Blossom #1. Cheryl Blossom she's a character in the Archieverse. She's played by Madeline Petch in the show Riverdale. She's the red-headed vixen. She's the one who's the bombshell. She's Cheryl Bombshell on the show. She's really like the breakout character in all this. But ever since she's been incepted into the Archie universe, she's been around. She's been on the sidelines. Every once in a while she comes in and she makes a move on Archie or whatever. But when they got the show, Madeline Petch did such a breakout performance. Cheryl Blossom is she's climbed up the ladder a lot. The first appearance of Cheryl Blossom back in, I think it was 1989, that's like $100-$200 comic book right now. This is not the one that I got, Cheryl Blossom #1. It's not the first appearance of Cheryl Blossom, like I said, but a lot of times first issues do have a significance to people, even if it's not the first appearance. So this is like a $60 book, and I was able to get 2 of them for $1 each. I'm pretty stoked on this. It's not like a Earth Base 1 wall book. I have a wall with all of my super def comics, but it is a garage wall comics. I have all the gems are inside the office, and out in the garage is the rank and file issues all kept in order and stuff. And I have a wall in there as well. And this will be a nice wall book for in there. When I see it, it'll be cool. I'll be happy. I got one for me, and then I got one that I can either I can sell or maybe I can trade somewhere down the line. I don't know. It's a fun book. A while back, this is before Riverdale, when I first started to get into Archies and stuff. I was looking for some Archie first appearances on eBay, and the Archie characters have been around for so long that you could never get your hands on Pep #1. It's just the first appearance of Archie and Veronica. I mean, Archie and Betty. Then Veronica came soon after, and then Jughead. It's these are comics from so far back in the day that you would need to have a museum budget to get your hands on these. The only ones I found that you could get was the first appearance of Kevin Keller, who's also on Riverdale, or the first appearance of Cheryl Blossom. And when I was looking at the Cheryl Blossom, it was like $7 or $8. I was like, who wants the first appearance of Cheryl Blossom? Little did I know that this book would be through the roof. It is white hot. It's up there. Let's see what else is going on. I got all that fun stuff. Oh, got a new iTunes review this week. And this is a way you can help out the show without having to put any dough out. You can hop on over, look us up. It's IC Robots Radio, and just tell us what you think, write a review, give us a big 5 stars, and I'll read it on the show. I'll do it. I'll read it, and you'll become famous. You'll become the most famous dude that's ever been. This is a 5-star review. It's from Rick in New Jersey. What's up, Rick? Point your podcast device towards Jupiter and get ready to bring some nerd nostalgia. These podcasts will make your week a little less weak, guaranteed. It's a great escape from whatever may be bringing you down. ELE. Everybody love everybody. That's the motto here on the show. Rick, thanks, man. I absolutely appreciate that. I appreciate those kind words. I appreciate you taking the time. I want you all to do the same. Be like Rick. Be like our man Rick. Give something else to someone for once. Don't be so selfish. Go give us an iTunes review. And I hope that we're making your week a little less weak this week, Rick. I hope that, well, first of all, I hope your week's not weak. I hope your week is fine. I hope your week is great. And that we're elevating it up into another stratosphere of fun. But I do appreciate those kind words from the bottom of my heart. Thanks a bunch. Thanks a bunch, Rick. So, what else is going on? You got to make sure to hop on over to Classic Wrestling Matches and Mags over on Facebook. It's one of my favorite Facebook pages. There are all these awesome pictures from these 80s wrestling magazines. I saw a picture of Magnum TA the other day. I saw a picture of Abdullah the Butcher, Tully Blanchard, the Horseman. It's all that cool stuff back from when wrestling was real, or at the very least you had some reason to think it's real. It's Classic Wrestling Matches and Mags over on Facebook. Just type that into the search bar, and you'll go right there. Give them a thumbs up. They're a big show supporter, besides having a really fun page of their own. I can't say enough about it. I like wrestling a lot, but I don't like it so much like it is now. I hear that refrain a lot. And this will take you back when it was super fun. Dudes were covered with blood. Dudes were fighting in jeans with the pockets cut off. Dudes were hitting each other with cowboy boots. All that fun stuff we used to know and love. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day. I think that I got enough of it out of my system this week. So for me, for Engineer Emily, A.B Silver, Johnny 5 somewhere out there, our big dude, Iceberg 13, for everybody out there who's a big show supporter, Gabe, Engineer Nerd, Lamar the Revenger, Vic Sage, Gino Vega, just everybody, Mighty Matt D, Berg, who else? I don't want to leave anybody out. I hate it every time I start doing this, because then I start thinking, what if I leave somebody out and their feelings get hurt? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Phil, Carrie, I don't know. Everybody in the world is now included in the end of the show shout out. I'm including everyone in the world. Doug McCoy, everyone you can imagine you're in it. So for all those people out there, I'm signing off. This is me, IC Robots. This is episode of the Toys R Us Report number 158. We'll be back next week talking about Jurassic World. So until then, if you don't know, now you know.
Make sure to tell a friend.
This has been an IC Robots Radio production. IC Robots Radio is a listener-supported endeavor. If you like what we do and we make your day a little easier, please consider tossing a few bucks our way to help keep the life support running. All money collected goes to help us prepare for future space pirate attacks. Go on over to supportthereport.com for all the details. Thanks and have a great week.
ELE. That's right, ELE. What does ELE stand for? Everybody love everybody. Everybody love everybody. Right there up on the wall.
This is 36 KICU, San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland.